Yeah,
We're back.
we are back.
Shop Talk.
Shop Talk FCB. We're here,
Episode
baby.
19.
Yes, you guys may have noticed. We said we were gonna get you a TV. We got a TV. Yeah, little technical difficulties in the beginning, but shout out to Liv. She figured it out. The
Absolutely.
pause game was crazy. Pause.
Yes, sir. She
And
got it, though. She got it.
She got it. We got it up. We're gonna have a nice little slideshow for you, but we needed to give you something. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
yes.
How's everybody doing, man? I hope everybody out there is good. I know I'm feeling good. It's Saturday. The shop was crazy busy. You know, they didn't even get a lunch.
Damn.
They say it's my fault. Like, I don't give them a lunch. That's not true.
I'm going to have to call the labor union.
No human resources over
right,
here.
That's right.
Yeah, man. We have a very, very awesome show. I've
Yes,
been
we do.
excited and I've been talking about it almost all day. And I was just telling our guest, his name is Andy. Andy the jeweler
Right.
is how I have him saved in my phone. And he's the man. But I was just telling him, I've been like telling everybody about this show today
Right.
because every time he's in the chair, yo, it's always such a good vibe.
Right.
And I think I say that with so many people, man.
do.
We be having good
But
vibes.
that's a good thing. 'Cause
That
you
is-
have a lot of positive people around you, so that's a great thing.
Yes, yo, he's a businessman.
Right.
Like I said, he's Andy the jeweler.
Right.
His last name is Castelline. We're gonna get into because if I said it how I spelled it, it would come out different. So we're gonna get into the explanation
Right,
once
right.
he's on. But this gentleman, whenever he's in the chair, anytime I've been around him, because I did party with this guy one time. It was a good time for a New Year's event, man.
Right.
But every time it's a good vibe, good energy. He's straight business. You're gonna see he left work, perfect
straight here.
timing, and came right here.
That's right.
You know, and that's what it's about. That's what we did. We worked, and then we came right here. Over here, if you've seen the behind the scenes, yo, I was running
Yeah,
around back
yeah,
there trying to
yeah.
finish up the last haircut, and then come over here. But man, super, super excited to be here. Thank you all for joining us. We got some pretty cool guests coming up real
That's
soon.
right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Who we got over there? Oh, people still trying to come in and get
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
haircut. But anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about, obviously, get to know Andy.
Right.
What kinds of responsibilities come with
Being a jeweler.
being a jeweler?
Right.
You know, people are getting engagement rings, right? Or gifts.
Right.
These things, they're supposed to last a lifetime. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And from my understanding, this dude, like, he sets everything inside
Right.
the ring exactly how you want it.
Right.
You want it bent, curved, chopped.
Right.
You know, I don't know the terms of
Right.
these jewelry.
That's why he's here.
That's why he's
gonna
here.
drop some jewels on us.
He's
No
gonna
pun
drop
intended.
some
That's
gems.
right.
Yeah. I like to give him a round of applause right there. Yeah.
Oh, wrong round of applause. Oh.
Into that.
We'll give that a round of applause. There we go.
Yeah. Yes. You know, speaking of like gifts and stuff like that, you just had an anniversary and stuff
Yes.
like that. What did you and Liv do?
We didn't do anything yet.
Okay.
We were planning to go to Hawaii. This is our goal. We were going to go to Hawaii. She got a little nervous because of the planes falling apart and all this that's going
That's
on.
happening.
So we put a halt on that, but we're definitely still going. Like it's
Okay.
100%. But we actually just went out to dinner to a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
Didn't do nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Got a nice little dinner. It was packed, but it was good. But
Wow.
that's what we did for our 25th anniversary.
And that was 25 years, guys.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
And guess what? Andy also celebrated his
Wow.
anniversary. I asked him if he could film last week.
Right.
And he was like, yo, I
I
would, but
That's right.
I'm married, man. I
That's
got
right.
an anniversary,
That's
yo.
right.
Okay.
That's
So,
right.
yo, family first. He's here today, guys.
Absolutely.
And without any further ado,
Let's introduce him.
let's get Andy over here.
Come on over, Andy.
Come on over, Andy. Welcome to FCB, or welcome to Shop Talk FCB.
That's right.
Yes. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So let's give him a round of applause, guys.
Andy, let the world know, how do we pronounce your last name?
Correct pronunciation in Italian is Castiglione, where the G is silent.
Okay.
But when my grandfather came over to America, he had to Americanize it, so
Right.
then they changed it to Castelline, just
Right.
like you're fishing in Castelline in the water.
Right.
Castiglione, you said? Wait, what?
Castiglione.
Castiglione. Wow, that sounds Italian
sir,
right there.
sir.
So you said your grandfather.
Yep.
Is he the gentleman that started the whole jewelry?
Yeah, my grandfather started the jewelry store when he was 25 years old back in
Wow.
1929.
Oh my God.
So
Right
this-
here in Gloversville?
right here in Gloversville.
Wow. And it's still here in Gloversville.
Still here. Yep.
That's great.
Wow.
This
That's
is our
amazing.
95th year this year.
Wow, congratulations.
Congratulations.
That is a great achievement.
Yeah, 95th?
Yep.
Yes.
And same location?
It's third location. Our original store was on 21 Bleecker Street.
Okay.
And then from there, then we moved over to the Four Corners, and then from there over to where we are now.
Right.
Wow. I love the way he says we. Like, I was there, 1929, bro.
No, but that's great. 'Cause
Yeah,
that
I
shows
know.
what kind of person
I
he is.
know, I know.
It's a
He's
team.
Yeah, no, and I'm glad you said that, bro, because that brings me to my next question. Because that's a team player right
Absolutely.
there. Like, that was a long time ago. But yet, you said, I want to take that over. I want to run it just like you guys ran it and maybe even get better. Because, times change,
Times
right?
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
technology evolves and everything. So what made you say that? What made you say, you know what? I think I want to pursue this too, Dad or Grandpa? Or...
It was tough. At first, I didn't know what I wanted to do out of high school.
Right.
I went to FM for a couple of years.
Right.
Then after that, went to Schenectady Community College for aviation science.
Right.
Started flying airplanes, little
Right.
Cessna 152s, 172s.
Wow.
And I thought I wanted to do that as a career. And my father called me up one day and said that he was thinking of slowing down at the store,
Right.
possibly wanting to retire. But he wanted to give me and my brother the option to take over the business if we wanted to.
Right.
At that point in time, I wasn't married, didn't have kids, but I knew I wanted to get married and have kids someday.
Absolutely.
If I'm a commercial pilot, I'm not going to be able to be home every single night with him. I'm
Right.
going to be traveling all the
Exactly.
time. So at least with the jewelry store, that way I can go home, be with my family every night for dinner, take care of them, hopefully someday build up enough money to get my own plane.
Right.
And stuff. Still working towards that.
it,
Haven't
yeah.
gotten there yet.
Good, good.
That's so freaking awesome, man.
That is great.
Wow, so that's so forward thinking. Like you thought
Absolutely.
way ahead. Like before you even had kids, you knew that you wanted to be around, and not be so busy at different locations. To be able to foresee that,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying?
But it shows you his mindset.
That's what I'm saying.
So I think that's a great thing.
Yeah. No, that's
It's always important to plan for the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
There are
everything.
people who just wing it. It's like just wing it through
I'm a
life.
winger, but not Andy, man. That's so awesome.
That's right.
So, how long have you been in the jewelry industry, and did you go to like school to educate, or did you just learn under the guidance of someone?
I've pretty much been in it my entire life and stuff, always going there as a kid. My dad and my grandfather were always both working. So if I wanted to spend time with my father, I had to go to the store. So
Right.
whenever I got out of school, I tried to go home, get my homework done as quickly as possible. Then I could go to the store and be with my dad.
Right.
So I would sit there on the bench, watch him do repair work, watch my grandfather do repair work. It was very informative. After Schenectady, when I came into the store full time, I ended up going to Virginia Beach to a jewelry school called New Approach School for Jewelers.
Okay.
And it's a 3-month program that you're there for. It was January, February, and March.
Right.
But in those 3 months, you get about 5 years of jeweler's experience.
Wow.
They just really hammer everything
Right. Wow.
onto you. It was a great learning experience. There was probably about anywhere between 18 to 20 people in the class, and the age ranges were from 18 to 68 years old was the oldest person.
Wow.
And people from all over the world
Right.
and stuff too. So it was great. Got to meet a lot of different people, got to learn a lot and stuff too while I was there. I already had a bunch of experience going into it,
Right.
but it helped me kind of perfect and hone in my skills
Wow.
and everything like that with it.
Now, when you say skills, because before you came on, I was kind of talking about some of the things that you do, but I guess I don't really. I know that you obviously work with diamonds. This guy finessed one of my buddies. His name is Ricky. He bought an engagement ring for his lady, and it was done by yours truly. You know what I'm saying? He's very happy with it, by the way.
Right.
Every time he comes to get a haircut,
Yes.
he
Shows
brings
it,
it, he shines it, and then shows it. Yo, look at this thing,
Wow.
bro. Yeah, nah, he's super,
That's great.
super happy about it. But with that being said, you said your skills. So if somebody brought like gold to you, what do you do? Do you melt that and then create with that gold, or is there a different?
You can't do anything with a lot of people's gold that they
Right.
bring in because especially they'll be from different manufacturers.
Right.
14 karat gold is 58.5% gold, 41.5% alloys. Every manufacturer will use different alloys mixed in with their gold, whatever's best for their manufacturer. manufacturing processes. So a lot of times people will come in and say, oh, I'd like you to melt this down and kind of create something.
Right.
Sometimes you can do it, most of the times you can't, because a lot of the metals and stuff, depending on the manufacturers, don't like to mix together. So you can have bubbling, splurting, and things like that, and it just doesn't mix well. So a lot of times we tell people to either A, try and find something that we have in the case.
Right.
We can do something custom.
Right.
And you can use your rings or whatever jewelry you have, because there's monetary value there in the
Absolutely.
gold. So we weigh it up and give you whatever monetary value it is towards the cost of the new item.
Right.
That way, if it's new, everything's all brand new. It can be warranted. You have nothing to worry about and stuff with it. And then, so depending on what it is, sometimes people will want a mounting, which is just a mounting without a stone in it, and then they have a stone and we'll set it into there. Ring sizings we do, chain soldering, fixing earrings, engraving.
And I've heard you say that you travel to get some of your jewelry pieces, right? Because I've heard you say, like, I'm going to Vegas. I need this haircut. I'm going to Vegas tomorrow. I got this jewelry show. So what is a jewelry show?
Jewelry show in Las Vegas, they have once a year in June, is called JCK.
Okay.
And they have jewelers from all over the world. It's the biggest jewelry show in the entire world that goes there.
Does it stand for something, JCK?
I believe so.
Okay.
Let me try to guess. JCK.
I think it's like Jeweler's
Jewelry?
Choice or something like
Okay.
that.
Right.
Ooh, that was good. I would have never said choice.
Yeah, type of thing with it.
Right.
But it's a huge event. Normally it was in the Mandalay Bay Convention Center and stuff before, and it's multi-levels and stuff, and you have thousands and thousands and thousands of vendors, and they break them all up into countries and stuff too.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So you have an Italy section, you'll have a Hong Kong section, and things like that and stuff too that you go walk through.
Right.
You're able to find a lot of really good deals and stuff there that you normally can't find anywhere else.
And is this available to the public or jewelers?
Jewelers only.
Specific. Wow, that's official.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that
Yes.
you have your own business, a tax ID number.
Right.
They want to see normally either pay stubs of
Right.
jewelry that you've purchased within the past few months, and
Right.
then normally they want it to be over like a $5,000 amount worth.
Right.
But it's a great thing to be a part of. We're also members of IJO, which is an independent jewelers organization. They have 2 shows a year, once in the springtime and once in the wintertime, and they're all over the country.
Right.
So sometimes, like the last one was in Dallas, they have them in Puerto Rico, they've had them in Texas, California, Ohio, you name it, all over the United States. I've been traveling, going
Yeah, I
ever
can
since I was
imagine.
5 years old. It was the first one I've ever been to.
So you go, I seen this in a movie before, that's why I gotta ask you. So you go over there, you like a bunch of jewelry. You got a briefcase with a cuff?
No.
No?
With a handcuff.
I seen it in the movie, man. You know what I'm talking about, right? You can't take this.
Yeah. Well, before, back in the day, you used to be able to buy, and they would go on what they call JBT, which is the Jewelers Board of Trade.
Right.
So as long as you were like a 1-rated company with Jewelers Board of Trade, you would place your order there at the show.
Right.
You would sign a paper saying that you would pay for it. They would ship you the product. Once the product comes in, you just send them a check out.
Right.
Now, these past few years, since COVID's come around, now that all these vendors are wanting money up front, which is normally unheard of.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to a show, not this past year, but the year before, and we were in shock by it because
Right.
we didn't bring a checkbook. We
Right.
didn't bring money with us.
Absolutely.
And stuff at all, because we weren't planning on
Right,
it. Nobody let us know from JCK.
Right.
So we told a lot of vendors, listen, we're JBT 1 rated.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any problems with that, we can go find another vendor who will
Right.
sell to us.
Absolutely.
We've been in this industry for 95
That's
years.
right.
We have no problem paying our bills.
That's
Wow.
right.
So-
That's right.
And then they would just turn around and
And
go
say,
ahead and
"Okay,
sell it.
yeah.
Some places we would take the jewelry with us. They want you to take it that day. Other places and stuff, they just ship it, and then when it comes in, we pay for it.
Right. Wow, that's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I never knew that. That's informative.
Yeah,
Never
that's
knew that.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Man, pilot,
Jeweler?
local. He doesn't have to travel.
No, yeah.
Man,
yeah.
so some goals were met.
Yes.
Some goals were met. What is it that keeps you going? Because, like, is it the feeling of, like, Castiglione? I know I said that wrong. Castiglione.
There you go.
There you go. There you go.
Is it because you know that you got that on your back and you got, what is it that drives you? Because he's the sharpest dude on Main Street, always, and he's here all the time.
Right,
So,
right.
like, nowadays you always hear people say it all the time. Nobody wants to work.
Right.
Right?
That's bold.
But You know, people don't want to work, but
That's what it is.
here we are. What drives you?
I'm always going. I really like the business.
Mm-hmm.
I like the aspect of it because at the end of my day, I feel accomplished and feel that I did some good.
Right.
For instance, we had a girl one year. She brought in a ring that she lost over the wintertime, and it was in her driveway, and it got run over a few times, and it was like her great-grandmother's ring, white gold filigree, was all carved out. The thing was squashed flat.
Oh man.
So she asked if there's anything that we can do for it.
Right.
And I said, I'm not sure I can give it my best best shot, but I can't guarantee it's going to be like it was when it was originally brand new. So we got it all fixed up, almost looked perfect.
Right.
And she came in, she picked it up, she started crying. She was in tears and stuff, and how happy that she was that we were able to save
Absolutely.
this.
Sentimental,
She
man.
has that sentimental
Absolutely.
You
aspect
can't
in it.
replace that. When she saw that, she was probably like in shock.
Yeah, think about it. Wow.
Yeah.
When I can fix things for people and stuff like that, and
makes
they
you
feel
feel
upset,
good.
it makes me feel good about myself. Like I'm helping somebody out.
You are.
And
You
stuff
are.
too. So definitely it's a good thing.
So, do you ever come across, like, I know I'm in the barber industry. There's some crappy barbers out there with a license. You know what I mean? And you know, we wish them all the best. You know, we all had.
He was still here, bro. No, I'm joking.
You know, when you know jewelry, is there like a cheap way of doing it? Are people's diamonds falling out? Like, I know me, I take my time with the haircut.
Right.
I gotta make sure no hair is out of place. I'm gonna, like, in my head freak
Drives you
out
nuts.
about it. Yeah. So, like, you ever come across something like that?
There's a lot of chain stores, things like that,
Okay.
because they'll farm their stuff out
Right.
to a jewelry warehouse to do the repair work, and so people will be without their product for 4, 5, 6 weeks.
Right.
And we've seen a lot of stuff from there, like stones would be set in, and normally when you put a stone in a setting, you're supposed to cut a seat for that stone to sit down into, so
Right.
that way it can be secure. Then you fold the prongs over on top.
Right.
So what's happened is they just get so lazy, they don't cut a seat. They just put the stone in there, fold the prongs over,
and then ends
and
up
stuff, and they
falling out.
say that that's good. But
Right.
then sometimes it can fall through the bottom,
right.
It
or
shifts a
sometimes
little
they
bit,
hit it just
so-
right. It shifts, and
Absolutely.
a diamond is harder than any metal that you put it into.
Right.
So every single time a diamond will wiggle in a mounting, or any stone for that matter, it cuts more and more of the gold or metal material away
Right.
until eventually it falls out. You want to make sure that when you're setting a stone in there, that it's rock solid and that
Right.
it's not going to move anywhere.
And that's the quality you provide.
Yeah,
right.
we pay attention to the detail
Right.
Yes.
and stuff. We're very detail oriented,
Yeah.
and that's what we try to take pride on and stuff, is paying attention to detail and trying to make sure. Sometimes though, it can get us in trouble because I think we try and make things a little too perfect,
Right, right.
so we can sit there for hours on something
Right.
and it looks perfectly fine and stuff. But to us, looking under a microscope 200 times
Yeah.
magnification,
Wow.
you can still see little types of things.
Right,
And we're like,
right.
we want to get this absolutely perfect.
But that's why they've been in business for 95 years.
95
'cause of
years.
quality work. you know?
Yeah. So we kind of have a little general idea of how a diamond is made.
Right, right.
We got different kinds of diamonds, right? What are the different kinds of diamonds? There's like, I don't know a lot about jewelry, but
Right.
we got the VVS, the VS, we got the lab, right? So what is all this?
Well, when you're talking about VS, VVS, those are the clarity characteristics.
Okay.
The clarity of a diamond is kind of like the fingerprint of a diamond. It's
Right.
what will tell your diamond differently from somebody else's diamond.
Okay.
Okay.
The fewer clarity characteristics that you have inside of a diamond, the more rare it is, therefore, the more expensive it
Right.
is. So you can have an I1, for instance, is I1, I2, and I3. They're the bottom of the totem pole.
Okay.
Those are what they call eye visible inclusions. You're able to see them with the naked eye. Then you go from there up into the S. They came out with an SI3, which is technically an I1.
Okay.
But it's marketing to get more money for
Right.
an actual I1.
Right.
But then you have SI2 and SI1. From the SI2, well, from SI1 on up, you're not able to see them with the naked eye.
Right.
You need magnification, a trained jeweler or somebody to know what they're looking for.
Right.
Or sometimes even people, as long as they have good enough magnification, can be able to see those.
Right.
Then you have lab-grown diamonds, which have recently come out in the market for about 5 years now.
Right.
They have been becoming super popular because you can save anywhere from 50 to 75% of the cost of a natural diamond.
Wow.
A lot of people will say that lab-grown might be a fake diamond or a synthetic or something. It's not. It's just that it's grown by man
Right,
and
right.
stuff. So I refer to a lab-grown diamond as like a test tube baby.
Okay.
You wouldn't say that that baby's not a human being.
Right.
It's just that the baby was grown in a lab being
Right.
versus grown naturally. And it's the same thing with diamonds.
Right.
With the lab-grown diamonds down to the molecular level, it is a diamond.
Wow.
There's two different processes that they do to create lab-grown diamonds. They do a CVD, which is a chemical vapor deposition, where they take a diamond, they take a slice of it with a laser that's as thick as a human hair. They put that on a little tray, and they put numerous of them in there, put it into a machine, it'll bombard it with chemicals, and the diamonds will grow off of that slice of diamond that they put in there.
Right.
Then they have what they call HPHT, which is high pressure, high temperature. And that is they take a piece of carbon, put it into a machine, it simulates the same pressures and temperatures that we get in our Earth's core, and then out comes the diamond from there. And GE back in the day used to make one called the Bellantier diamond.
Okay.
And that was the same thing and stuff that GE used to make back in the day. But now they've becoming so popular because it is a diamond. Any way you look at it, any jeweler will tell you that it's a diamond. Any diamond tester will tell you that it's a diamond. We actually ended up just having to buy a $4,000 or $5,000 machine to be able to tell us the difference between lab growns and naturals.
Wow.
Because we get people coming in trying to sell us stuff, or vice versa, we're selling to them. We got to know what we're selling to them, and we got to know what we're buying and stuff too. So that way nobody is getting cheated either way.
Right.
But they've just been super, super popular, and they've just been selling like crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're great because of, especially younger people, when you first get married, you don't have that much money starting off in your life.
Right.
As you get older, accumulate more wealth,
Right.
it makes it easier to afford the things. So this is for a lot of younger people who don't have that much money, because
Right.
you can get a much bigger diamond
Right.
for a lot less.
Right.
Plus you can get a much higher color or higher clarity
Right.
and stuff too with it.
Right. Wow.
They're just great.
That's great.
Freaking awesome. I feel like I just learned so much more
Right?
about diamonds
Yeah,
than
absolutely.
I
Yeah,
know.
that's
Wow,
neat.
so when you say that the high pressure, high
High temperature.
they ever like recorded the process of a lab diamond being grown? Like they ever
There is. You can find some videos on YouTube and
Okay.
things like that of how
Wow.
lab-grown diamonds are made.
Right.
Wow, that's
And everything.
pretty
Very,
freaking
very
cool.
interesting.
Yeah.
Just imagine like seeing it
I know,
forming and
right?
then and then what, you cut it?
Then what they would do is then they would send that to a diamond cutter, and the diamond cutter would cut it
Right.
to whatever shape they want to make out of it. And a lot of diamond cutters will try and from that rough diamond try and save as much of the weight as they can, because diamond cutters today get paid on weight retention.
Wow, man, so informative,
Yes.
man. I don't.
He knows his jewelry. I tell you that.
He knows his jewelry,
Yes.
man, and he knows a lot more than just
Absolutely.
jewels. You know, we could have a whole different episode on gun safety.
Right.
Yeah, my man is a beast. He a
Oh,
beast.
wow.
Expert marksman.
Wow.
So don't go into his jewelry thinking it's sweet, guys. And thank God you guys haven't ever experienced anything like. I mean, this is Gloversville, but I mean, every city in America goes through a little something. You've been blessed though. You've never had to experience anything nutty like that, right?
We have been. We've been very lucky and stuff. I remember
It's the respect, man. People love and respect y'all,
And the
man.
energy he puts out, so
Yeah,
it gets it back. Yeah.
What were you gonna say? You remember?
there was one time when my grandfather, before even I was alive and everything, I think it was maybe in the 50s or 60s, they had two guys break in next door. They tried coming through the wall.
Right.
They ended up hitting an electrical conduit in the wall. They got zapped, set off the alarm, and
then
therefore-
arrested.
And then they got arrested.
Oh my God.
World's dumbest criminal. Man, you know, I gotta say, we've also been blessed here, and people like to bash the town that
Right.
we live in,
Right.
or where we have a business in. I think that you can kind of complain about a lot of small towns and all over
Yeah,
the world.
right.
It kind of is what you make it. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Yep.
And we've been blessed. We haven't had any issues. The only issue was like people come in here and sell me stuff too. They're never diamonds. I always send them to you.
It's a
but-
fugazi.
it's a fugazi. But I bought this TV and I thought that we didn't think it was gonna work. I was like, oh my God, that's what I get for buying it off some guy that walked it into my
Off the
building.
street, yep.
Yeah,
It-
yeah.
It is what it is.
But we made it happen,
Right,
guys.
right,
We
right.
made it. It works.
Yes,
You know.
yes.
So you have a question for him?
Actually, I do. What do you say to someone who's a younger, starting out, even older, who wants to start out in the jewelry business? What advice would you give them? What steps would you give them to get into this and perfect it, or just if there's any the pros and cons of the business.
Yeah. If they want to start out with the business, the best thing to do would be go work for a store somewhere.
Okay.
Mall stores, things like that are kind of tough. You don't really get that good of experience. But
Right.
normally local hometown jewelers, you get a lot more experience, way better customer service. After that, depending on what they want to go into, if they want to learn how to do jewelry repair work and stuff, their best bet would be, just like I did, going to the New Approach School for Jewelers.
Right.
They're not in Virginia Beach anymore. They've moved now recently to Tennessee. But you
Okay.
can go on there, log on to the web and stuff, and go and check them out.
Right.
They have different courses and different time frames and things like that. And again, once you get that 5 years of experience in there in that class, you can go anywhere and be a jeweler for anybody
Right.
in the world.
Wow.
Type of thing with it. They do hand engraving, sizing, stone settings,
Right.
things like that. As far as moving further, then what you would do is maybe want to get a gemology degree.
Okay.
First, you start off with diamonds. That's through GIA, which is the Gemological Institute of America.
Okay.
They have a location in New York City.
Right.
They have a location in Carlsbad in
Okay.
California.
Yep.
And you can do it all remotely, most of it remotely.
Right.
And then at the end of the classes, then they want you to go and do like a lab class type of thing with it.
Right.
And normally it's for a few days. Once you get that, then they'll send you a degree for your diamonds. Then you go on to colored stones. You want to do pearls and things like that. And then they even have an appraiser one if you want to be a certified gemologist appraiser.
Right.
And you can go into that too to try and get all those credentials.
Right.
Once you get all those credentials, if you have those credentials, any jewelry store out there would love to have a person like that.
Right.
Or you could even start up your own business
Right.
type of thing too.
Right.
And once you do that, again, now you have credentials. You're able to go to the jewelry shows, go and buy what you needed
Right.
to buy for your store and things like that and just go from there.
Wow. It sounds like a lot of hard work too. So this is not for the person who doesn't want to put in the work for it.
Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
got to wake up.
That's right.
And you got to stay, you know.
Dedicated. Yeah.
Got to stay focused.
That's right.
I know staffing your jewelry store has to come with its challenges as well, right?
It is. It's tough. Again, just like I was saying, trying to find anybody who's had any retail experience in
Right.
a jewelry store is very hard. We're going through that right now and stuff. We've been trying, 3 weeks now, we've been looking for somebody, going through interviews and stuff like that
Right.
nonstop. And you'll find people, but it's also easy to learn.
Absolutely.
So even we entertain people coming in who hasn't had even any experience. We're
Oh, wow.
more than willing to teach people
Right,
Oh,
right.
that's
and
awesome.
stuff too, as
That's
long as they
great.
have the willingness and
Right.
ability to learn
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
awesome.
and move forward.
Yeah, you got to get that vibe. If that person got no experience, you better give this guy a good vibe in the
That's
interview.
right. That's right.
You know, he's not hiring slackers.
Yeah, that's right.
He got some serious people over there, though. They hold the fort down for him. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to hold this gentleman up much longer.
Busy
but
man.
we gotta just recap though.
Absolutely.
My man saw the future. He's not a jeweler, he's a psychic, guys. This guy said, I know that right now I'm not where I am supposed to be or am gonna be, but I gotta start thinking ahead.
Absolutely.
For when I get there, I'm fully prepared. He wanted to be there for his kids, and he is there for his kids. I had the liberty of cutting their hair today, and he's an awesome, awesome father. They look up to him
That's great.
dearly. I look up to him. He knows how to fly a plane.
Right.
So if he ever feels like it in the future,
Yeah. And he said it. He's,
maybe
Still
one
might
day
happen.
he'll buy a plane, you
I'm
know?
sure he will.
Until then, man, my man is going to be waking up every day motivated. He's going to continue to run his establishment for,
Prospects.
yeah,
Right.
top 2, top
Wow.
3 oldest businesses in Gloversville, you know? So we are super duper happy to have you here.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
so happy you agreed to come on our show. Thank you for educating us. We appreciate you as our jeweler.
Yes, sir.
You know, in Gloversville and the surrounding areas, man, please go see my boy
That's right.
Andy right here in Gloversville. What's the address?
25 North Main Street.
25 North Main Street, Gloversville, New York.
That's right, guys.
You know, go see my man, get something custom.
And then shoot over here and get a haircut at the same time.
Come through. And then after the haircut, be a guest on our show.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
Make sure you hit
Best
that
haircut.
subscribe
Yes, sir.
button. Make sure you hit that
Like.
notification button. Like, share. You know, thank you once again for joining us on this journey.
And we'll leave some of the information of all the jewelry stuff that he gave us in the description. So
Right. We might even include like a little display of what he might have.
Absolutely.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? We'll go, you know,
Yes.
we're going to make it real nice.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all, man. This was episode 19.
that's right.
We on to 20, baby.
Yes, sir. Shop Talk
Shop
FCB.
Talk FCB. We here, baby.
Peace.
Peace.